Greetings. It's Saturday, the 27th of September. It's a beautiful fall day here in the Northeast. Actually, more like a summer day, probably 82 degrees, sunny, not a cloud in the sky to be seen anywhere. The birds and squirrels were chirping earlier, but I guess they're finished uh, chasing each other for the day. At any rate, I wanted to make this my summer wrap up video about sailing. This was the first summer that I was able to solo charter or be a skipper on a boat without an instructor. And I think it went very well. I think I've learned a lot. Um, Coastal cruising is all about marinas and rivers and, you know, all that stuff that you encounter close to land. And it's been fun. I think I'm ready for some overnight stuff and some offshore sailing. My plan originally was to take a class next year in the spring from Florida to the Bahamas, or from, I think there's one from Norfolk, Virginia, that goes down to the BVI's. That's some, offshore stuff. Those classes are really expensive. 3, 4, 5 grand, and then you still got to fly to and from wherever you're going. So I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to do, but I do want to do some offshore stuff. I began to know some people, and so I may serve as crew. I have a friend that helps with boat deliveries, and I think I may do that. Not sure yet. But definitely, I have enjoyed coastal cruising. But around here in the summer, it seems like there's never quite enough wind in the Chesapeake and the tributaries of the rivers that feed it. The fall, there's a lot more. In the spring, there's a lot more. But summer, 5 to 10 if you're lucky. So you really, even though I did go out in 30 knots this year, that was after a tropical depression had passed off the East Coast on July 3rd, went on July 4th. So that was interesting. Learned a little bit about, 30, 31, 32 knots is not heavy, I guess. But I did learn something from that. But in this next phase, looking to get away from shore or do something interesting in terms of continuing to learn this sport of sailing. And one good thing I did learn is that boats can be a lot about engines, as we all know. And I don't know, that kind of takes away from it sometimes. I think I enjoy sailing for the joy of sailing, even though I'm a bit of a boat whore. Excuse my French. I think I do enjoy the aspect of sailing without an engine. And so a couple of times this summer I've taken out engineless boats just because it feels much more responsive. I mean, you can really feel like you're doing something in very little wind. I like that. That's one reason why I'm building a sailing dinghy for that purpose, to try to stay in touch with the essence of it, which is the wind and the waves and nature. And so I guess that's kind of a metaphor for life, is that sometimes we get too involved with the big things, the trappings. We become, our possessions own us instead of us owning our possessions. So I guess, a major reflection, coming from this experience is sometimes it's good just to deal with some basics, and you don't need all that fancy stuff. And just take life for what it is. The joy of waking up every day, taking a deep breath, and having a gander at God's beautiful world that's been created for us. And to enjoy each other, to enjoy the bounty. Just chill. you know, take advantage of your blessings, even if, you know, you don't have everything that you think you need. So, till later, peace and blessings.